Hello, 𝒉𝒂𝒑 here, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough of Pajama Girl Creepypasta Collab, made by 𝑻𝒉𝒆 𝑫𝒐𝒓, which is a retro horror novel about finding creepy cassettes. So, let's begin. Let's just rest here for a little while, alright? Get to wake up right here? I mean, I don't even know where here is. Elevator seems to be unoperative, so let's try to see if we can find something to operate it, or turn on the power to find if it could work. There's a junk down here. Yeah, it should be fine. Locked door. Aha! Circuit breaker! Right, that should turn on the power at least. I would really hate if something jumped out right now. But I think I should be fine. Oh, jeez. That kind of scared me. Hi. Oh, my name... Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. What? Oh, actually, you know what? Never mind. Forget I ever said anything. Anyways, I could tell by the look on your face that you're new around here. I guess. Not really. I guess. Don't you worry about a thing. I'm going to help you out. I know this place like the back of my hand. Since you're clearly new around here, I really want to explain what you've stumbled into here. Oh, this is so exciting. A new friend. We are friends, right? Oh, what am I saying? Of course we are. Oh my God, we should watch cartoons together sometime. That could be so much fun. Where was I? Oh yeah, Without further ado, this place has been abandoned for quite some time now. It used to be a bustling heaven for art lovers of the city, but you know how things go. Times change, people's standards for entertainment and socialization change with them. Previous owners left in a rush, leaving a bunch of fun junk behind, people like us to find. Sorry if it sounds like I'm talking down to you. I'm generally just trying to explain everything to you. I don't really know how familiar you are with anything. I swear I don't think you're stupid. Okay. So, forgive me. Yeah? Oh, thank God. Phew. Where was I? I don't remember what I was talking about. Where are we? Cartoons? You? I don't know either. Those cartoons. That doesn't quite sound right, but I won't turn down a good opportunity to ramble. You ever watch Adventure Time? I love Adventure Time. There's something so comforting about watching Finn and Jake go on big fun adventures around. Oh, BMO is my favorite. Wait, no. Ice King. Ice King's my favorite. No, wait. Maybe Princess Bubblegum? Choco? Lunabun? Ah, man. There's so many good choices. Man, oh, this is so magical. I'd love to explore the world that dense with fun, wacky little characters. I'm not really the analytic type, so I can't really pinpoint anything specific, but that show really speaks to me. Funnily enough, this museum is kind of like our version of the treehouse. Oh my God, the building. That's what we were talking about. This place is awesome. There's so much cool junk lying around, and all my wonderful friends hang out here. Thinking about it now, I think a great way for you to settle in would be listening to some of the old tour tapes lying around. There's one sitting behind me in the elevator. Feel free to take it. I don't mind at all. In the first floor lobby, you should be able to find one of the old cassette players to play it with. At least, I think that's where the remaining players are. Sorry, but you have to look around a little bit. Once you get it, click tab, or click the open button to the mouse and use it. I will say though, you really should wash up a bit. How long have you been outside? Either way, I'll get out of your way now. Enjoy your time here. Although, please do me a favor and don't tell others you saw me here, alright? We're playing hide and seek, and they haven't thought about checking the basement yet. Alrighty. Thanks. I knew I could count on you. You should wash your face in the bathroom when you get the chance. Bye-bye. Okay. Fine, whatever. I don't mind. First floor. Oh, hey! Cassette player, alright. I guess we could probably play one of the first cassettes. Play.
Greetings and welcome to the Museum of... The last of its kind. Recording shall act as your introductory guide to the guided tour cassette player. You'll proceed and the general rules of our facility. We hope this device and its contents will act as a wonderful and handy addition to your visit today. Around our facility, you can find cassette tapes. These wonderful audio works will act as a companion piece to your visit, each containing... You can open up the tape menu using the Tab key. The menu can be navigated via mouse cursor or using your keyboard. Tapes can be rewound and fast-forwarded in case you wish to skip ahead or return to a previous point. Cassettes must be found before they can be played, and some members of our staff may even have some on hand if you desire a further dive into the fact that you don't listen to your guided tour cassette player when conversing with fellow guests or members of our on-site staff. It's rather rude to do so. Hope you enjoy your stay.
I will. Alright, we're gonna pause that. Yeah, pause that. Take a good look at yourself. This is all you'll ever have. Well, that's not fun. Okay. We'll probably save some of the cassette tapes. They might take a little while, so we're gonna save them for a little later in the game. But let's at least find them all. Kind of a mess in here. Sweet! What a cassette tape. Alright, someone here. What you doing? Just gonna... Alright, not even a second. Hold on, don't say anything. Let me pause my recording real quick. Okay, what's up? What you playing? Recording? Are you okay? What you playing? Some random Xbox Live Arcade Minecraft ripoff. I've been on this bit of a deep dive of Xbox Live junk arcade lately. Usually I play good stuff, I promise. Like this TF2 or normal Minecraft or this one Roblox game I'm blanking on the name of. I know, Roblox cringe or whatever, but I have fun with it. But yeah, as of right now, I'm on the Xbox Live arcade junk. Is it any good? Roblox game? Anything else? Is it any good? This game reeks. I don't know why I'm even still playing a game. It's basically just Minecraft with guns and dragons and stuff. Super original. It's making for a fun story though. I wonder what the development process of these things are even like. Did they get into it just wanting to ride the Minecraft hype? Minecraft is literally on the Xbox, so I don't get why someone would just buy Minecraft. I mean, it's behind a couple updates, but that's whatever. I wonder if that nerdy kid knows anything about this stuff. I'll ask him later. Roblox game? Yeah, whenever I get up to the computer lab, I'd play Roblox on the PCs in there. It's been a minute because that damn old elevator is unreliable as of late. I always find myself playing the same game on there, so. It's a zombie game with a big tower that you have to scale. You buy cool guns and have to survive and has to climb. It's weirdly addicting. The zombie designs can be so charming. I made tons of videos of me and this artist girl playing it together. He introduced me to it. Zombie Tower? It's literally called Zombie Tower. Oh my god. I'm being really dumb right now. Man, it's been a minute. I gotta grab that girl and play it again. I'm sure she'll be down. You know, it's real funny. She's not the type I'd expect to play stuff like that. Or anything at all, really. She's always in her own world. Same thing with that nerdy kid. I should go find him soon. Someone's gotta break those two out of their own shells. Plus, I'm itching to shoot some Bloxy zombies. I can't do that without her. Anything else? Like, game-wise? I really like Call of Duty. I know I shouldn't be playing it, but man, it's so fun. I used to play lots of multiplayer and stuff, but I think the truly cool part of the COD is zombies mode. Feels so scary and out of place. It's a ton of fun. One time I got to round 28 on King Doran. I bet you're real jealous. You don't get numbers like that every game. I guess you don't. I got to round 50. I guess you don't. We should play sometime. I think there's extra controllers laying around here somewhere. If you find them, I can carry you to Great Heights, my one-eyed friend. Recording? Yeah, recording. I want to be a YouTuber, so I record myself playing tons of games. Same here. I feel like I've gotten this spark inside my chest, like a little flicker of flame. It keeps pushing me on. Everyone's always trying to stop me, but I don't know. I feel like I can really do this. I put so much work into my stuff, and it's slowly getting there. I put so much work into my stuff, and it's slowly getting there. I hit 50 subscribers recently, and even on a comment from someone. It just said great vid, but man, that was so motivating. A real human being watching my video. And liked it enough to even leave a comment. That's what it's all about, man. Hi. Stop you. Why? Why what? Do YouTube? Why not do YouTube? Really makes me feel like I can express myself and find connection with people I'm otherwise unable to connect with. If it wasn't obvious, I'm not the easiest for me to get around. I can sometimes, but most of the time, I'm pretty home-locked. Videos, games, and the internet itself allow me to reach people and show the world who I am. In a way, that's not typically afforded to me. I try not to take things like that for granted. Stop you. Yeah, it's really awkward to talk about it. A lot of people in my life don't believe in all this internet digital junk. It's not like my parents are sitting down and telling me to drop it. It's just, whenever I talk to them, I get this overwhelming feeling that they feel like I'm wasting my time. I know things are rough for my family, and I don't want to add anything more to the top of that. But man, I really believe in the internet and video stuff. I want to succeed in spite of everything to prove to everyone this isn't worth it. That I'm worth it, that I can be up with the greats of the medium. Shoulder to shoulder with the giants. The world's gonna keep knocking me down, but I don't go down easy, world. Are you okay? Never better. Okay, I'm guessing you're referring to all the equipment I've got around. It's not something I want to get too deep into the weeds with explaining. To keep a long story short, I've got some immunity system issues. It's a disorder. Limits what I can do, where I can go, etc, etc. I try not to let it keep me down, but getting stuck at home when it's bad is rough. Physical therapy helps a ton though. I really get along with my doctors and therapists. I feel real lucky to get on front. When you're someone like me, you really gotta take those wins and cherish them. The medical system isn't always sunshine and rainbows. I've got tons of friends behind me, keeps me going when things are going well. I got tons of friends behind me, keeps me going when things aren't going well. Sorry to hear. Friends. Sorry to hear. Aw. Don't worry about it. It's part of my life when you live with a kind of thing looming over you. You gotta come to terms with it one way or another. I'm just glad to be around in the first place. Never take the little things for granted. Never take your life and your friends for granted. Also, donate blood and plasma. Okay. You suggesting I don't got friends? Tell you what, new girl. I could tell you're new, cause, buddy, I'm friends with everybody. Even outside this place, I've got a whole friend group online. The people love me. Except you, I guess. That'll change quickly, though. Soon enough, you'll see just how cool I am. Alright. Okay. See you around. Well, I'd like to see that moment when I'm friends with you. Alright. Kind of depressing in there. Let's go find something else. Cafe? What's that over here? Cassettes. Oh, yeah. Someone else here. Hey, you're interrupting the show. Whatever, it's no biggie. What's up? Are you okay? The show? I'm lost. Are you okay? What do you mean? The scarring. You're alone. The scarring. Oh, like the skin markings? It's no biggie. I was burned pretty bad when I was younger. I was just relaxing and boom, flames. No one really came to help me, but that's fine, because they didn't even need to. I tanked it. It was basically nothing. The scarring never really faded, but I'm totally cool with it. No skin off my back, pun intended. Now that I get a good look at you, are we twinning? Any story behind your eye there? I'd rather not. All good. I know how it could be, being so visibly hurt. I long for a stage, so either way, I gotta learn to own this industry junk. I'm rooting for you, no eye, girl. You're alone. Don't be silly, I've got my audience right here. The Danes of the building line up to hear the likes of me perform. I'm never alone when I'm up here on this box. Look, I get it. The spotlight isn't for everyone, but right here, all that nonsense that gets us down prevents us from chasing the beauty of this craft. It just fades away. Just gotta prep for the part where it comes back. It's all a big up and down, zigzag, and I'm a graph. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I'm the dragon. I breathe fire on the graph. Ah. Okay, the show. Yeah, the show. I'm the funny one. It may be hard to believe, but long ago, I was nobody. Humor is how I found my way in. Joking around kept me around. Isn't that so wonderful? Tell me a joke. With plushies? Tell me a joke. How'd I get this scar? A tall, faceless man. What? Pretty good, right? Tell me a joke. An actual joke. What's the difference between me and a salaryman? Drama. I get it. Pretty good, right? Recently, I was in a car accident. What caused it? The creator's dead brother. What? Pretty good, right? I could probably go on this all day. If it wasn't for fireworks, why was the dog so scared? 100 V's. Pretty good, right? Yeah. Tell me a joke. No, seriously, for real, tell me a joke. Recently, I was in a car accident. What caused it? A smiling astronaut. Pretty good, right? Yeah. You know what? Buddy, we'll get there one day. We'll get a joke out of you. Yeah. I'm like an evil mastermind, and they're my unwilling audience. I kid. They love me. Usually the crowd's a bit bigger, I promise. I'm trying out new material and it doesn't seem to be landing. I guess people really don't like jokes about fire. Well, It might be the punchline. You might want to work on that. I'm lost. For real? How could you be lost? Wait, like in general or in the building? In general. I'm no help there. You see, I'm not exactly the touchy-feely type. Opening myself up just invites pain. So I express myself through performance instead. You don't need to talk about your feelings if your feelings don't matter, 𝒕𝒂𝒅. Isn't it so intensely hilarious how no matter what I come on the stage and say, no one understands what I'm trying to say? I could in absurd detail break down every whim and thought that I put in. And now still get misplaced empathy and anger. It don't matter. I still get up here and sing, dance, what anyways. Nothing is gonna get me down. I think the point I'm trying to make is maybe you should try joking around a little. The building. Yeah, I explained it. This place is one of the labyrinth of sound and smiling sometimes. Here's the handy tip. Use the elevator. That thing can be so convenient when it works. Last I checked, it was busted though. I've got some of the panel buttons here. Me and one of the other kids were gonna fix it up, but I haven't seen him in a minute. I'm also just generally not the best with techie stuff. Here, you can have it. You'll probably make better use of it than I could. Back. Alright, bye. See you around. I have my own comments about how he processes things, but it's best I keep that ignored because it's kind of how I kind of go at it. Moving on, let's go. Oh, I gotta find more cassettes. Hey, actually, speaking, do you know what cassettes are? Feels like there's some more here. Over here. Museum. Ooh. Seems like it's unfinished, but still. Pretty impressive. Alright. Slenderman. I think we're pretty much good here. Let's head up. Second floor. Ooh. 535. Oh, little train set. Oh, can I? Oh, I can. Maybe. Good go. Oh, it's amazing. I love it. And it keeps going around. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, clock. Move the hands. Okay. 5:35. That was pretty easy. I mean, it could have been worse. Real art there, eh? Kind of reminds me of like a Porygon. Freaking love that Pokemon. I'm gonna take this. Thanks. All right, wheeling out. Oh, that's honestly kind of funny. I'm gonna wheel out. Nice. Hi. The artist. Oh, hello. You caught me in the middle of something here. But I don't particularly mind a little chat. What's on your mind? What you working on? Why are you back here? Who are you? Sometimes I feel like saying who are you is just very insulting. What you working on? Do you ever think what it even means to express yourself? I'm not sure if you are creative or not, but judging by the fact that you are here, of all places, it feels like a safe bet. We're in a museum after all. Either way, I'm working on a painting, and I've been working on it for a while now. What is it? Well, right now, it's the ocean, or maybe it's seaweed, or maybe it's just a bunch of fish. Earlier, it was a beautiful nighttime forest, with the tops illuminated by the moon. And way before that, it was just a bowl of fruit. Nevertheless, I say it's gone through some interpretation. I kinda wish I stuck with the forest one though. I think I scrapped it way too quickly. Guess you could say I never saw the forest for all the trees. I want to make something that deserves to be here with all the other lovely pieces of art on the walls. For a while, when I first started hanging out around here, I'd spend hours just staring at the art on the walls. I desperately wished I could speak to the various artists who made it all. I can't help but feel like we've had so much to talk about. Sadly, there's so much separating me from them, whether it be time or space or whatever. I just have to settle for where my brain naturally goes, the considerations I have with myself. That's not really such a bad thing, is it? Why is it taking so long? I'm not actually sure. Well, actually, I have a little bit of an idea why. At the end of the day, it's just theorizing about myself, but I don't know if I know what I want out of all this all. I've been working at it for so long that some cost might have kicked in. It's not like my love has faded for it. Far from it. I love painting. It's just, well, I'm not really good at it. I think I get caught up in making it perfect and then up losing sight of important bits. I hope that makes sense. It's just so important to me. I need all this art stuff to express myself. There's so many feelings and thoughts that just better expressed this way. Instead of desperately trying to find the words to say something, which I'm fabulously bad at, just paint. It's like the emotional brain alchemy for your darn brain. I know. I guess. Why are you back here? For a while now, I've been absolutely immersed by art and film. Being in here surrounded by all this old film junk and all the pretty posters fills me with such inspiration. I set up camp here to be closer to that world. I'd appreciate it if you didn't disturb my sleeping setup over there. In the way the camera captures the internal events of the moment, I feel like film captures the emotions of something. That might sound a bit silly, but it's a thought process that keeps me working at this passion of mine. I hope that makes sense. Favorite movie? You sleep here? Honestly, that sounds a lot better if I discuss, will you sleep here? Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing. I can't sleep here too many days in a row, or my mom and dad will get anxious, but I try to sneak out here whenever I can. It's a bit tough for me to get here because I struggle a bit with walking every year since I lost my leg. They always help me out in that respect. It's how I even got here in the first place. I don't know what I'd do without them. I'm really glad we found this place. Something about it just speaks to me. Ironically, despite being abandoned, there's always something new to see. I only just noticed a tall man from Something Awful on the first floor earlier today. And, you know, all my friends are here. Favorite movie? Oh man, I'm surprised you asked. I think it has to be Scream. I watched it way too young, but it's been a bit of an obsession ever since. The cinematography, the tension, and oh man, the horror. It's a classic for a reason. I know it's cheesy to say, but I can't help but express that. I've always loved the protagonist. I really felt like I could connect with her. Everything always goes away when you're just trying to lead a normal life. Been there. The ending is just the icing on the cake for that film. I won't spoil in case you haven't seen it. I've seen it. I haven't seen it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't really seen a lot of horror movies. It's alright, it's just, I'm not into the whole horror movies when it comes down to all that. I'd rather have like real horror, like documentaries. That's what I'm into. Oh man, when you get home, you gotta watch it. Who are you? I should be asking you that, tired girl. I'm not sure how you even got here. Either way, I'm just an artist trying to figure out what to make next. I don't think there's much more to it. Basement access? White hair girl. And what about the white hair girl? A girl with white hair? I can't say I've seen anyone who matches that description around here. That's honestly a little upsetting to hear about. It's a little unsettling to hear about. I spent a lot of time here. If someone like that was around here, I almost definitely would have met her by now. The group of us who hang out around here has fluctuated over the years, but I don't recall anyone with white hair. No, one with white hair. You should ask someone else about this. Sorry, it couldn't be more helpful. Basement access. Basement access, like through the elevator? I've got a little button right here that you can probably use on the panel. Here, you can have it. It's no use to me. I know other ways to get around anyways. It's kind of strange that you got up here through that thing. When you go back down there, make sure to stay safe. It gets really dark in that basement. I haven't gone there in forever. I get bad vibes from that area of the building. Alright. Well, I guess I'll see you later. Oh, see you some other time. Alright, bye. Scooter! You serious? I had to walk right into that. Alright. To make sure we are all up to date with cassettes. Seems like we got 3 more to grab. Don't know where they can all be, but that's just part of the process. Finding things that you don't really want to find. Oh, found that one. That's nice. You can't shift. What's this? Okay, circuitry. Okay, so I can change that. Okay, so I think I may know what to do immediately. Has to be like something I can. Okay. That goes there. That goes like this. There. No, that goes there. There we go. That's very easy. Great. Ah, nice. Pick me up. Just to make sure we got everything. Beep beep, scoot scoot. Nice. Oh. I haven't heard you enter. Perhaps I was simply too immersed in this repair to pay your arrival any mind. My apologies. It becomes something of a habit for me to lose myself in my work. Who are you? Repair? Actually, honestly, I'm a little more nerd. I see you're making your own PC here. What's the specs? I want to see the specs. Are we clocking at, like... Just a nerd, I guess. Found my place amongst these machines, so it only makes sense to wear the label. cassette player. Internet. Cassette player. I'm a little more curious on that. Your stereo sound cassette player has a lot of history. Cherish it. Those things were built to last. I truly wish that could be said for most other technologies these days. History exists in every scuff and scratch. Though, if it could talk, I doubt it could even understand why people insist on destroying in a world where you can create. Internet. Interesting subject to bring up. Many people seem to lose the point when surfing the web. Computers aren't for bickering with other netizens. While technology can burden some, me and my peers don't have that problem. Perhaps this is oversimplification. I've been told I'm not old enough to understand. No, I don't think maturity is any excuse to engage in all manners of petty scuffles. Witter. Who are you? Just a nerd, I guess. I found my place amongst these machines, so it only makes sense to wear the label. Repair. I like to spend a lot of time in here, but these dusty old things can get slow with age. It's only right to give them a good fix up every once in a while. There's plenty of spare parts. It wouldn't be inaccurate to call this computer lab my second home. This place is my personal retreat. One can't always be socialite. It's not healthy to exclusively give your time to others. That being said, if you need company, I don't mind your presence. Why is that? I try to keep my boundaries healthy. It values the time one gives to another people. Talking to friends can become another chore in a boring routine under that stress. When you establish a status quo for everyday life, applying definition and obligation to every social exchange, well, it can deprive you from time you need to reflect on things. Without that, it's easy to lose track of what matters. Personally, I don't think that's all that good for the brain. How'd you learn this? Beyond dusty glass and gentle hum of breathing fans is a raw shape of creativity, audio and graphics conceals to give the potential body. Intent and interpretation gives it two halves of a heart. That is to say, there's a comfort in logic. There's a lot I find interesting there. I hope it doesn't bore you. Oh, and I like computer games. Playing them, watching them being played, reading about them. Anything really. It's all quite fascinating. One day I'd like to make games, but I'm not really good at it right now. One of my friends here insist I should play Roblox. I haven't looked into it much. At least I'm learning what makes it all tick, right? I guess so. Why hair girl? Oh, the cryptid. I joke. Nope, I haven't seen anyone like that. Someone like that might have passed through, but I don't pay mind to appearances. I did hear something akin to marching a few rooms away earlier, but something tells me that's unrelated, though I can't say for certain. For all we know, mysterious girl might be in the marching band. Bye. Bye. Okay. Well, that's not. Let's get out of here. Beep beep. Beep beep. Ah. It'd be awesome if I can actually like hit a bell. Ding ding ding. Alright. Let's go down to the basement. Alright, now that we're in the basement, I kinda wanna listen to all the cassettes. Let's go over here. We're gonna start from the very beginning one. The one we heard before.
Greetings and welcome to the Museum of... The last of its kind. This recording shall act as your introductory guide to the guided tour cassette player. You'll proceed and the general look of our facility. We hope this device and its contents will act as a wonderful and handy addition to your visit today. Around our facility, you can find cassette tapes. These wonderful audio works will act as a companion piece to your visit, each containing... You can open up the tape menu using the Tab key. The menu can be navigated via mouse cursor or using your keyboard. Tapes can be rewound and fast-forwarded in case you wish to skip ahead or return to a previous point. Cassettes must be found before they can be played, and some members of our staff may even have some on hand if you desire a further dive into the past that you don't listen to your guided tour cassette player when conversing with fellow guests or members of our on-site staff. It's rather rude to do so. Hope you enjoy your stay.
The following is a recorded recount from a data miner who attempted to find more information regarding the deleted boss character's self from the video game Nights into Dreams. His experiences in the process of finding the character were wrought by seemingly paranormal occurrences, which ultimately ended with him halting his attempts to document such information even further.
Hello, my name is Kyle and I was trying to find Self. Well, look, it's a long story. Self from Self with like a PH is a character that got deleted from the game, right? There's been a over 20-year search for anything about him, and I thought I could try to throw my hat in the ring. Basically, over the years of this search, very little's been found about him. Like the closest we had for the longest time turned out to be a stretched texture for a finger. Anyway, I wanted to help out. There's like a whole collection of data miners trying to find him. I wasn't affiliated with the group, but I still thought I might as well try. If you can't tell, I'm a fan. Or was a fan. I'm not sure about that anymore. So I got experience in data mining, right? Mined a few things from other games, like stuff that was already found, right? But I still did it for like fun, you know? Or at least to learn. After watching a couple of videos on YouTube about this, I went on to search for an older build, like older than the current ones that've been dug through. I don't know if you could believe how many sites or auctions that I had to browse to find one, let alone if anything existed. But there it was. I found a disc I ripped in a lot of old games and on-disc emulators. It was blank, except for that old DVD disc logo and Nights written in blue marker. It was apparently from February '96, which was written near the center of the disc. I bought the whole lot from a Japanese auction site for steal. Once I got the disc, I got right to cracking. It was actually kind of cool because I actually found a few things that were just speculation. Claire's spiral was real in the build. It was almost exactly like Twin Seeds with a different background. It looked like the concert hall that Clara sings in at the ending. Ray, linesman for Claris, was even different. I found a hand animation where he kind of clasped two together in front of him in models of a small gill wing and claws. I think he was meant to like shoot them in the fight or something. Like, this was awesome. I think I found something no one else had, but the real reason I wanted to rip this was to find Self, as I said. I found something. I had to force access to the level, but I found files, playable ones. Could have pulled right out there, and the models, textures, but it didn't feel right. I wanted to play for myself before I ripped everything. So I went searching, found an emulator. I got nothing. Wouldn't load. I needed the hardware, and I tried to get the cheapest Saturn I could find. It was a bit of a wait, but it came, and I got right to it. Hooked it all up to the TV in my bedroom, and as I said before, modified the files and brute forced my way into the level. This just felt right. I don't know why. Anyway, the setting of the level was like a starry night over a lake. The sky was reflecting in the lake, and even nights had a low poly reflection. They even had the music made for this. Know thyself, right? So I was anticipating this. Counter on the screen began to count down with no sign of Self or anything, and after 10 seconds passed, there was a flash of light, and he was there. He had this intricate human-like design. Like, it's hard to describe, but I think it's for the best. Its reflection was different, inky and black, and like a blob. Looked nothing like the boss model. The battle was interesting. You have to power loop Self and fly into him and then throw him at his reflection, which would damage him. He actually had like a lot of health from what I remember. Before the game stopped, I had run up most of the timer. So eventually he just stopped reacting to the power loops and just shitted in place. I thought he was like glitching out or something. That's when he just zoomed towards the camera and my TV just freaked out. Like the screen went to static and the speakers sounded like they were dying. I saw smoke coming from behind the TV and I went to pull the plugs, but they weren't popping out of the outlet. I almost got shocked, but after I put more force in, they came right out and my house blacked out. I thought it was gonna be a fire. Went down to check the breaker and nothing came on. It was all shot and I had to call an electrician in the morning. After I went back upstairs, nothing felt right. Kept getting chills, and when I was in my bedroom, I felt like I was being watched. The dog was even on edge, staring at the corners of the rooms and electrical outlets. I thought it was the dark, right? Trying to sleep it off, but I couldn't even sleep well. I'm waking nightmares, and I still felt like I was being watched, and I saw him again and again. It was like flashes. He was somewhere 1 second and then somewhere else another. I tried waking up, and I would keep waking up and like fall back asleep, but even when my dreams were normal, they just became... Saw a lot of things I'm not certain were true. Naoto Oshima, the director and artist for Nights, he was waking up in the dream and sketched out a rough drawing of something that looked like Self. There was another. He was talking with someone and they went down to the development department and got to work. Felt off watching this. Eventually it changed and the two were there with Yuji Naka and they were trying to cover this up. My files in the game, removed the key art for Self and locked away a folder in the old filing cabinet. I woke up again and thankfully it was morning and after I called to have my breaker looked at, I just got this urge to go to the files again, rip the files for Self and show them to the internet. It didn't feel right. Once my power came back and the electrician left, I went back in and I just couldn't do it. I didn't want to, but the thoughts kept coming. I trashed the console. Standard's plug has been burned out by the event and the internals were fried. The TV had to go too. The guy said it was lucky my house didn't burn down. I deleted all the files I ripped, even the spiral and the alternate 𝑰'sBoss. I didn't want to risk anything. I stored the disc in a jewel case. It came in and put it in a strongbox and locked it in a safe. I just want to put all this behind me, but it's strange how I keep trying to go back. Still get urges to go and just try to find out more about it. At least the data. But I'm not going to. I'm stronger than what Self thinks. I'm getting this off my chest. Research Self at your own risk. Don't if you know what's better for you. I can't keep the thoughts of him out. He wants to be found. I don't know what will happen if he is.
In the following weeks after the interview was concluded, Kyle had reported only minor attempts to go back into researching said character. He would browse the wikis and forums in the event he would find more information regarding Self, or any individuals who had similar experiences to him. It should be noted that he is still mentally stable, enough to live on his own, and the beta build he had ripped is still in his possession. He has stated plans to hide it away somewhere else, in the instance he has the urge to rip the files again. As per the subject's warning, research at your own risk.
Last summer, I was bored one day, so I decided to play Tetris Effect again and wanted to use a super ultra sexy fun time mod. At the time, I didn't want to use Vortex. I just didn't want to deal with the launcher. Instead, I ended up browsing some weird offshoot mod sites that had a lot of stolen mods, and I downloaded an Ultra Evil Satan mod. I downloaded all of the Ultra Evil Satan files, and I received a warning that this file might be dangerous, so Chrome blocked it. I decided to click Keep Dangerous File. I put all the mods in Tetris Effect, set it up, and played Ultra Evil Satan Tetris. Lines of blocks after blocks vanished like the sands of time. Before I knew it, I had spent 2 weeks straight playing Ultra Evil Satan Tetris mod. During those 2 weeks, I received an email that simply said, "I'm watching you." I didn't even click on it. I just blocked the sender. A week later, I got another email mentioning 5 different sites I had recently visited. What the fuck could it be? I decided to run a Windows Defender virus check, and it discovered a couple of files. Then those files were deleted, and I removed all of the jar files. I completely uninstalled the Ultra Evil Satan mod. I received a message from one of my friends on Discord asking if I was okay. I told him the whole story. He said it was very strange. A week later, I received another email that said, "You thought you could delete me." I actually felt like I was having a panic attack, so I decided to completely wipe everything off my computer and do a fresh reinstall. This took me a total of 3 days. I later explained the whole situation again to my friend on Discord. He said, "Wow, that is terrifying. It's good you got that fixed." 2 weeks later, I received an email titled, "I'm still here. You think you could get off this easily?" The email contained a great detail about my life, the websites I visit, what I do on my computer, and included screenshots. New 3:43 p.m. I was actually panicking, and while using my phone, I messaged my friend to explain how my computer was completely compromised, and that everything I did could be seen by someone who was sending me these emails. He then said, "Bro, it's just a prank, it's me." In absolute shock, I stood there and thought, you know, that makes sense. At the time, I was actually so pissed I could not believe how angry I was. At the same time, I also felt a great sense of relief. I was on a call with him for 3 hours. He was laughing hysterically while I was so fucking livid that I used some very colorful language. After about 40 minutes, I could see how it was funny, and I admitted it was a good prank. However, I would say that it should never be done again. Except for when I did this recently.
A deer's eyes in the dark strike you like fireflies. Sometimes that's all you have time to notice before the impact. 2 little lights like sickly stars, and then the thud that shakes you down to your souls. After hitting the thing, I screeched to a halt, as though there was anything I could do at that point. I don't know what compels a person to get out of their truck on a dark road in the dead of night to gander at a deer carcass. But there I was. Not that I saw anything of the sort. I grabbed my flashlight and made my way around the truck, keeping my free hand on the vehicle as I crept around it, like it was some kind of raft holding me up from sinking into the dark. I couldn't catch any trace of whatever I had hit in my beam, no matter how far down the road I shone it. I guessed that the poor beast managed to survive and scrambled back into the woods. After being hit, the thing was probably gonna make an easy catch for some predator, if it didn't just lay down and die from its wounds. But I'll tell you, there being no trace of the thing, no carcass, no blood on the road, nothing. That put a deeper pit in my stomach than if I were to have seen the creature mangled and dead there. At least that would have given me the peace of some finality. I circled back to the front of the vehicle to look for any sign that I had actually hit something. Sure enough, there was a hell of a dent on the edge of my hood, and blood that dripped down the truck's grills and into the cracks of the country road. That's when I heard the sound. A screech echoed out from the firs. It was distant at first, like the call of a hawk or police sirens, suddenly cut off by a thud. And then it sounded off again, closer this time, followed by a gallop of those thuds like heavy feet. I scrambled into the passenger side door of my pickup, crawling over the gear shift to get back in the driver's seat. Then I waited, holding my breath to listen, but the road and the woods were quiet again. The only sounds I picked up were the growl of my idling engine. It was nearly midnight by the time I got home. With heavy steps, I climbed the stairs of my porch, walked over to the front door, and let myself in. I swear my house groans at me every time I come home, like an old lady groaning to her husband coming back from the bar to a cold dinner. Creak, 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 up the 3 stairs to the porch, and then the distinct whine of the door opening and shutting. "Honey, I'm home," I always say to my empty house. And then it was time to watch late-night TV and infomercials until I managed to fall asleep in my armchair. Damn old tube TV. The sound was out on it again, and it was just giving me static. The voices on the tube usually made it easier for me to fall asleep, like a lullaby of hair and kitchen products. But not tonight, it seemed. Defeated, I pushed the power knob back in, plunging the room into near darkness and silence. And that's when I heard the creak, creak, creak of something coming up the 3 stairs to the porch. Puzzled, I picked up my watch from my side table and squinted at it. It was 2 in the morning and nobody had any business being on my porch. My closest neighbor was nearly a 1/4 mile up the road. I thought it might have been a coyote or maybe a black bear who came up the property looking for something to eat. But then came the distinct whine of the door opening and shutting. I had heard of bears and even raccoons who could open doors and would ransack places while the homeowner was away. Peering around the living room doorway from my chair, I inspected the front hall as best I could see. Everything looked undisturbed. My boots, the rug, the door still shut tight. Then there it was again. The creak, creak, creak of something on my porch. Unmistakable that time. I got up and pulled the curtain ever so slightly aside so I could take a look at the front porch from the living room, though I couldn't see a soul there. It was too dark without the porch lights on anyway. I shuffled over to the front hall and flicked the outside lights on and off a few times to maybe frighten away any animals who had gotten bold enough to come up the steps. Still couldn't make anything out, even under the porch lights. And that's when I heard faint engine sounds that were strikingly similar to my pickup starting up, with the kick, pop, wheeze of the engine heating up before settling into a hum. Sure wasn't any kind of animal out there. My truck's lights were still off, so it must have been another vehicle. I couldn't think of any business the neighbors would have with me at this hour, or anything that could be worth driving a 1/4 mile in the dark for, short of an emergency. And if it were an emergency, why would they be so coy about it? I stepped out onto the porch, with the distinct whine of the front door opening and shutting. Mostly all I could see was my own breath cast in the cold glow of the porch lanterns. There wasn't another vehicle in sight, and all I could hear was the wind. But on the wind, there was something that made my hair stand on end. A sound like radio static. It was a hiss, barely decipherable from the usual wind, but it was there, insidious. I could have easily mistaken the sound for katydids, but the chirps and pops were too electronic. And then the sound came into focus, the electronic whines morphing into a voice, only for a moment, and then back into whines. I couldn't believe my ears. Television static occasionally cut in with the voice of some advertiser talking about anti-baldness cream or their new miracle blender for a mere moment before melting away back into crinkles and pops. Someone must have been messing with me. I retreated back to my front hall and procured the rifle I kept in my hunting closet before returning to the porch and scanning the yard quickly, from left to right and back. I figured I'd try shouting a warning. "Hello? Who in the hell is out there at this hour? What business you got on my property?" For a moment there was silence, and then... Someone called back in a cadence of voice that seemed to mock mine. I could only imagine what kind of drugs whoever the hell that voice belonged to was on that could create such a rasp. Fed up, I turned my rifle skyward and sounded a shot into the air to show the intruder that I wasn't in the mood to play around. The shot echoed out in the still night. And then, before my ears had a chance to stop ringing, another shot resounded from somewhere nearby. I hit the deck, pushing myself back with my heels and fumbled with my rifle, shakily aiming it between the board rails of my porch. That settled it. This was some kind of home invasion. I thought about getting back inside to call the police, but I didn't want to risk getting up from cover if someone out there was armed. Come to think of it, I didn't hear the bullet hitting my house. What I did begin hearing, among the wind and sound of my breath and my heart pounding in my chest, was, "Rookie, I'm home!" My eyes darted back and forth till I finally saw something. 2 sickly green stars, like fireflies. The head of a buck was peering out from behind my truck. But from where their head was leveled to, the thing would have been taller than any deer I'd ever seen, unless it decided to get up on its back legs. One of the thing's antlers was shorn off halfway, and its fur was stained black with blood that ran down its face. Worst of all, its jaw hung dead open. In those moments, I swear I saw it move like the sounds were coming out of the creature's own mouth. So I did the most sensible thing I could think to do and blindly fired at that buck's head. However, when I pulled the trigger, all I got was a dismal metallic clink. Turns out the only round still in my rifle had already been chambered from the last time I used it, and the mag was empty. My fault for being hasty. I could only watch as the buck's head slowly approached, making dismal metallic clinks back at me, as if to further mock me.
Get the hell back, whoever or whatever you are! I shouted at the thing.
For a moment, it stopped in its tracks. The buck's head, standing taller than a man by my reckoning, flopped backwards limply, its open mouth pointed to the ink-black sky as if to catch rain. As I was about to cry out again, the thing righted itself and sped towards me, making a series of thuds intermittently accompanied by the screeching sound of car brakes. I scrambled to open the door and crawled back into my front hall, kicking the door closed with my feet. I then sat with my back to the door to hold it tight and reached up behind my head to turn the lock and fasten the bolt. I sat there, out of breath, trying to urge myself to get back to the hunting closet to try and collect a fresh magazine. Then came that creak, creak, creak of something coming up the 3 stairs to the porch. Then nothing. Not a sound. For once, the thing was quiet. This was no relief. I couldn't believe it. But the silence was so wretched that I was considering begging my guest to speak to me again. I don't know when I fell asleep, sitting up clutching my empty rifle like a blanket and leaning uncomfortably against the door. My ass was sore. My head and neck throbbed. Slowly, I picked myself up and peered out the window. Nothing in the yard other than my pickup. I held my rifle backwards like a club as I opened the door. Just a crack at first, and then slowly all the way. And there, at my doorstep, was the bloody head of a buck, the antlers shorn off halfway on one side.
Now remember to slip that tooth under your pillow, or else the tooth fairy won't come.
Bailey obediently followed her father's advice as he kissed her forehead and tucked her into bed before departing for the door.
What do you think she does with all those teeth?
Bailey asked excitedly. Kirk hesitated, his hand hovering directly above the light switch.
You know, I'm not really sure.
The question had caught him off guard. The Tooth Fairy really didn't have much of a backstory to pull from.
How much do you think she'll give me?
Kirk simply rolled his eyes and smiled.
Good night, Bailey.
Good night, Daddy.
Bailey clutched her stuffed elephant as Kirk flipped off the light switch, leaving only a sliver of light behind as he closed the door to a crack. Kirk carried himself down the hall to his own bed as he collapsed onto the mattress. Bailey wasn't the only one with teeth on her mind tonight. Kirk had been dreading a trip to the dentist for almost a week now, but each twinge of pain served as a reminder that he couldn't miss this appointment. Kirk watched the door in nervous anticipation, his anxiety building each time it would swing open, only for the staff to call someone else's name. Periodically, he'd glance at the clock, as the remainder of the day ticked itself away in 10 to 15-minute intervals. Kirk's jaw throbbed. It was already 3:15, a full 45 minutes beyond his scheduled appointment. Thankfully, Kirk had made arrangements with Bailey's mother to pick her up after school.
Why can't these places ever be on time?
He muttered to himself under his breath. With that, the door swung open once again, almost as if the building itself had overheard him.
Kirk Hogan?
Kirk raised his hand and gave a nod as he sat up and followed the woman down the hall. After passing a few occupied rooms, she found a vacancy and waved him into a room on the right.
Go ahead and take a seat. Someone should be with you shortly,
she stated with a gentle smile before turning to leave. Kirk propped himself up onto the dentist's chair and leaned back. Kirk wouldn't have to wait much longer before the dentist finally made his entrance and announced himself.
It sounds like you've been having some lower jaw pain then.
Kirk turned to face the voice's owner, an older man, probably somewhere in his late 50s or early 60s. Kirk immediately felt more at ease. Though his age realistically held no bearing on his skill as a professional, with someone older, his experience was already assumed.
Yeah, it's been hurting for a while now, but the pain was fairly manageable up until recently.
The doctor put his fingers up to his lips in a thoughtful gesture.
Well, I think it might be best to start off with some x-rays, if that's alright with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you think is best.
The man nodded and turned, placing a lead vest under Kirk's chest. He pulled down the overhead light and switched it on, blinding Kirk in the process. Kirk squinted as the dentist grabbed something else from the shelf, then readied the x-ray gun off in his peripheral.
Open wide.
Kirk opened his mouth as another wave of pain shot through his jaw.
Alright, now bite down, as tight as you can.
Kirk clamped down as the sharp plastic dug into the roof of his mouth. The man finalized the positioning of the x-ray before leaving the room. A brief hum signified that the x-ray had been taken. The dentist returned, removed the chip from Kirk's mouth, then repeated the process 3 or 4 more times. Once the procedure was finished, the man left once more, this time returning with a series of photographs. He slid them into the light box for closer examination, carefully studying them for some time without so much as a word. The man sighed as he turned around to face Kirk with a grave expression. The severity of the situation had already begun to set in before the doctor even opened his mouth to explain. Kirk's eyes widened, his heart raced, as he listened to the man's deeply troubling diagnosis. The man explained that it was in his best interest to operate as soon as possible, that the procedure was actually quite simple, and that they could even do it right now if he wished. Kirk, still too stunned by the news to properly articulate an answer, simply closed his eyes and nodded in agreement. The man leaned Kirk back in his chair, grabbed the nitrous oxide mask from beside the table, and secured it over Kirk's nose and mouth. Kirk inhaled and drifted off into a sea of black haze. Kirk's eyes fluttered open as he found himself in some sort of waiting area. He pressed his tongue up against the underside of his teeth, but couldn't feel a thing, still numb from the anesthesia. He peered up at the clock. It was almost 6.
Gonna be late.
He grumbled wearily, at least as best he could without the aid of his tongue. Soon after, the doctor reappeared in the doorway.
There we are. How are you feeling?
Not great.
Kirk admitted. He felt terribly nauseous.
Well, fret not. The procedure was a success. You should start to feel better in a few hours anyway. My assistant will send you home with a few instructions for the rest of your night.
And that was that. Kirk left the office with a bottle of pain medication, a set of instructions, and a complimentary toothbrush. He wasn't sure he was even okay to drive, but no one mentioned that he shouldn't, so surely it must have been fine. Kirk pulled into the lot and buzzed up to apartment 219. Maria answered the door with a stony glare. The couple had been separated for almost 6 months now.
Where have you been? You were supposed to pick her up an hour ago.
Yeah, I know.
Kirk sputtered.
I had a bit of an emergency.
Kirk continued, explaining the situation, which in turn softened Maria's harsh expression significantly.
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Maria motioned inside.
Would you want to stay for dinner?
Yeah, sure.
Kirk hesitated.
What is it?
It's just, my mouth's still pretty numb, so I'm not sure how much I'll be able to enjoy it, you know?
Maria smirked.
That's fine. Here, come inside. Bailey's in the living room if you want to wait with her. Should be just a few minutes.
Kirk stared down at his plate of spaghetti, his eyes following the noodles as they coiled together into little knots. His stomach followed suit. Kirk took a sip of water to try and cool off the acid building in his gut, then stabbed at his plate, wrapping his fork full of noodles. As he swallowed, the noodles carried with it something hard and rigid. Kirk winced at the sensation as it traveled down his esophagus.
Everything okay?
Kirk paused. Everyone was staring at him.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's nothing.
He replied as he took another swig of water. But this time, he was choking. Maria rushed over as Kirk wheezed and hacked until something shot out of his throat, hitting his plate with a tiny plink. It took him a moment to realize exactly what it was.
It's a tooth,
He stated, dumbfounded.
A tooth?
Maria didn't take the news quite as coolly.
Something must be wrong. You've got to call the dentist.
Bailey's eyes fixed onto the tooth as it lay on Kirk's plate, while Kirk poked his index into his mouth, trying to determine exactly which tooth he just lost.
I can't. They're closed already.
He finally responded.
I'll just hang on to this and give them a call in the morning.
I don't know how you're not freaking out about this.
Kirk was honestly a little surprised himself, but he figured it was probably just the sedatives left behind in his system. Wanting to make a point, he set the tooth aside and took a second bite. As he began to chew, however,
He felt something give way.
his molars sank inside his gums like they were made of paste. Kirk ran his tongue along the side of his mouth to check the damage, but this only caused the weakened roots to break away from their seating. Additional teeth cascaded onto the plate one by one in a wet heap.
Daddy!
Bailey shrieked.
No. Oh.
Maria screamed. Bailey leaned forward, her eyes gleaming with
Excitement.
Daddy! You're gonna be rich!
It all started as a rumor. An old video supposedly hidden on some derelict message board that was long since erased from the web. The rumors about it always seemed bizarre. People said they were hospitalized after watching it. Others talked about finding divine enlightenment through it. I mean, some even claimed that whoever watched it could no longer be considered human. I, for one, figured it was just some silly hoax. I was used to sleuthing out internet mysteries. It was sort of like a pastime for me. What can I say? There was something so alluring about finding the origin of creepy internet stories. It took days, weeks, but I managed to find an archived version of the forum. Somehow, someone was keeping this page up, but well hidden. After pages and pages of forum messages, I found a thread simply titled, "Do not watch." Such obvious manipulation tactics made it seem so cheesy. But in the description, there sat only a link. I decided to scroll through the replies first, see what people were saying when it was first posted. Most called it fake, poorly edited. Some even jokingly wrote, "I watched this. Should I be scared?" However, some other comments suggested strange happenings after watching it. "My friend watched this, and I haven't heard from them in several days. Should I be worried?" Too scared to click. I read someone started sprouting vines after watching it. This is a top-secret government experiment they don't want us to know about. The comments seemed to be so fake, so troll-esque. But my curiosity was driving me crazy at this point. I had to see what this mystery was hiding. Nervous and exhilarated, I decided to click the link. A file now sat in my downloads folder named plant_man.mv4. This was the final stretch. With this, I would finally rediscover a long-lost internet hoax. I clicked it, and the video player buffered. Nothing but a black screen at first, till something moved out of the way of the lens. It was an older gentleman, sitting in a chair, surrounded by nothing but inky blackness, a dim light shining down on only him and what looked to be an IV drip-feeding some clear substance into his arm. He seemed to be unconscious, with ropes wound tightly to his ankles and wrists, holding him in place. What did I even download? Is this someone's live leak human trafficking video? Several seconds in, and his eyes shot open as he began to convulse. It looked like his veins were wriggling under his skin. He opened his mouth, but no sound came out. The veins, they seemed to stretch and grow out towards his limbs. Something strange started to poke at his abdomen, when out of his belly button slithered a tiny vine. Its green leaves unfurled as it grew and snaked its way up his chest. His skin grew pale, almost white, as the blood drained from it. His fingers began to elongate and grow what looked like bark as his abdomen and chest continued to expand. Through the grainy, compressed audio, I could hear bones cracking and viscera squishing. I wanted to look away. It was too much, but my eyes were stuck glued to the screen in sheer horror. Tears rushed down the man's face as roots began to grow out of his mouth and nose. Every orifice on his head started to sprout colorful flowers. His ever-growing abdomen could no longer hold in whatever was inside as it exploded open, but no skin, no organs, not even blood leaked out. All that existed was an unnerving variety of well-known plants and beautiful flowers. Tulips, roses, some kind of ivy. They all created a grotesque bouquet out of his chest cavity as they bloomed and reached for the light. He sat there, quiet. His transformation was complete. His bark-covered hand reaching out towards the screen eerily, his anguished face forever carved in the wood. I shut my laptop and ran to the bathroom, evacuating my stomach of all its contents. I lay in a cold sweat on the floor, terrified at what I had just witnessed. The video, it seemed all too real. After years of watching strange hoaxes and CGI monsters, I knew this couldn't be fake. The look in his eyes. Laying there, the words of the comments started to flow back into my mind. I don't know if it was because of the fact I just vomited, but I began to feel unwell. My skin felt like it was crawling. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying that this was just some kind of bad dream, but I couldn't deny the truth as the smell of roses wafted into my nose.
Hey, you're that, like, Jeff the Killer guy, right, dude?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah. Hey, I've been, meaning to ask you something.
Yeah,
if you
go
don't
ahead.
mind me.
Yeah.
And I mean no offense by this, but why do you look the way you do? What's up with that?
Oh. I'm glad you asked. So, once upon a time, I was at a birthday party, and these three bullies torched me, and I didn't like that one bit. I went to the hospital. They said I would survive, but oh, they made the mistake of keeping me alive. Cause once I got back home, I took a butcher knife and carved a smile onto my face, and I carved out my eyelids so I could see my beautiful face forever. And then I killed them all, one by one.
Okay, that's cool and all, but the main thing I'm curious about, it's kind of the reason I came over here, is where is your nose?
What?
Like, you don't have a nose. Like, nowhere in the story did it say how you lost your nose. What's that about?
What?
Like feel your face, dude. You don't have a nose. Dude, calm down. Calm down, dude. Dude. Hey. I didn't know you didn't know. I'm sorry. Hey, they're there, man. It's like, lots of people don't have noses. I mean, look at me, dude. I don't have anything. Like, I don't got eyes. I don't got a mouth. At least you got that, you know.
But at least you're cool looking.
You're cool looking too. Don't say these bad things about yourself, man.
I'm not tall and have a suit like you. I'm just an edgy teenager.
Well, no, but you're. Listen, people love you, man. Like, you shouldn't compare yourself to me.
Are you playing a trick on me?
What? No. How? What?
Did you take my flippin' nose?
No, I didn't take it. I came there to ask you where it is. I didn't take it. You've never had a nose.
You're jealous because you don't have any facial features.
Okay, first of all, that's a little bit insulting. Okay, I was sort of like, I came out this way.
Oh, boo-hoo. But that doesn't mean that you should take other people's noses.
I didn't take your nose,
Yes,
dude.
you did, clearly. I mean, I
came here
had
to
my
ask
nose
you.
before I met you.
You have never had a nose. Look at this picture
I've
of
had
you. It's the
a nose.
iconic picture of you. Everybody knows you don't have a nose in this picture. You've never had a nose.
Excuse me, it's just really bright there.
What? Well, where is it now? Where's your nose then?
You took it, clearly.
I didn't take it!
Before I met you. Yes, you did.
Why would I take that, and what would I do with it?
I don't know, smell snuff? Maybe you're the body part collector. I don't know what you do, Slender Man.
I'm
Heck,
Slender
if I
Man.
know.
I'm slender. I live in the forest. I have 8 pages. I kill people. That's all I do. I don't take noses.
I mean, you might have. I mean, people really don't know what you do. Even I barely know what you do.
I just told you, slendering around the forest, pages, stuff like that.
What does slendering mean?
It means I'm slender and I slender around. Just like how you Jeff
that
around,
doesn't make
right?
any sense. It's like me saying like that Jeff all over the place.
That's what I'm saying. You Jeff all over the. You say your iconic line. It's Jeffing time, and then you Jeff all over the place, right?
No, I don't. I say it's hushy by time. It's time to sleep or whatever. And then I kill people. It's called killing. I don't Jeff all over the place.
I think you got to work on that catchphrase, dude. It doesn't sound like you have a solid one yet.
Neither do you.
Well, that's because I'm quiet. I don't normally talk. It's creepy.
Why are you talking to me now?
Because I want to know where your nose went, and I just wanted to ask. And...
How are you talking without a mouth?
What? I don't know. I don't...
Yeah, feels bad, man.
What am I doing right now? What is happening?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. You took my mouth, didn't you?
What? No. Why would I take your mouth? I already have one.
You did. You did. No, you did because you think that I took your nose, which I didn't, by the way.
So you actually do confirm that you actually stole my nose.
I didn't, but you took
my
mouth.
Yes, you did. No, I didn't take your mouth. Why do I need two?
Extra creepy, double mouth. I guess it'd be kind of freaky or something or whatever.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty creepy, man.
Yeah, it'd be pretty scary.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
You should try it out. You could try it out with my mouth that you stole!
I did steal your mouth!
You know what? I'm done with this conversation. I'm done dealing with it.
Okay, fine. Goodbye.
Burn in hell, dude. You're lame. You're a lame creepypasta.
Oh, really? There's no reason for you to be like that.
Like what? I'm like the coolest creepypasta. Everybody knows who I am. I am!
I get all the fangirls.
Oh, yeah, well, I got a video game based on me. I get people like...
So do I have like 5.
Well, none of them are as cool as Slender, the 8 pages, are they?
Oh, no, they ain't. You just walk around and you go buzz on the cameras. Oh,
it's
that's
iconic.
So scary. No, it ain't.
I'm done.
Nothing's
I'm done
more
with
scary
it.
than a more humanoid creature thing.
I'm out of here.
Okay, whatever. Flippin' idiot.
You're the idiot.
I'm not an idiot. Hey, can you at least give me my nose back?
I didn't take your nose!
Yes, you did!
Seeking a four-legged companion. companion, Alice went to the local dog shelter. As her eyes gazed over the various large, hulking canines that society had abandoned, she stumbled across a West Highland White Terrier, a small white dog that was the epitome of cute and cuddly. She was immediately drawn to it as it stood out in this gray, downtrodden wedge of the world. She crouched down and held out her hand. The small dog approached her cautiously, yet allowed Alice to pet it.
Oh, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You are. Oh, yes, you are.
The dog's eyes lit up, barking excitedly, tail wagging. Fifi, the dog's new name, soon found himself going home with Alice. They were the best of friends, going to the dog park, watching TV, playing fetch, giving Fifi treats, saying,
You're such a good boy.
And Fifi would respond with loving excitement. Inspired by seeing Alice and Fifi, Alice's neighbor got her own dog, a friendly brown Labrador. Alice approached him, saying,
Oh, who's a good boy? You are.
Suddenly, Fifi barked angrily, growling at the Labrador. Alice led Fifi away, apologizing to the neighbor. Not long after, when arriving home from work, Alice opened the door and found the house in disarray. Furniture had been moved, objects smashed and torn. Food, feces, and urine were scattered around, and carpet and hardwood floor sections were dug up, as if a bear had passed through the house. The strangest of all these things were the writings on the walls. She didn't understand what they meant, and they were crudely and hastily drawn on with various mediums, like permanent marker, condiments, feces, vomit, and blood. There was a trail of blood leading into the bathroom. Despite the growing fear in her heart, she remembered Fifi was home. He might be in trouble. So, she steeled herself and entered the bathroom. Inside, she saw in the tub the mangled body of the neighboring dog, its bones twisted and broken, its body twitching, the skin of its face peeled back, displaying its now bulging eyes, eyes that now stared at Alice, as if begging for her help. She felt as though she was going to vomit. She turned to leave when she saw the writing in the mirror. Who's a good boy? Suddenly, Alice heard a noise behind her, causing her to scream and jump in fright. It was Fifi. He barked excitedly, panting, hopping, and looking up at his relieved owner.
Oh, thank goodness! You're all right!
But soon, Fifi stopped panting and hopping, and just stared into Alice's eyes. Alice was taken aback, as she'd never seen Fifi act this way, except when Alice had a dog treat, but she didn't have anything to give. It seemed Fifi wasn't even breathing, that he wasn't alive. The pupils of Fifi's eyes grew larger the longer she stared, both becoming a black abyss. It felt as if the darkness within would leap out at her at any moment, trapping her forever. The abyss grew hungrier by the second and needed to be satiated. But with what? Alice's eyes were drawn to the mirror.
Who's a good boy? You are. You're a good boy.
Immediately, Fifi began panting and barking excitedly again. The abyss disappeared. For the moment, the situation was resolved, but the fear remained. She called the police and gave a report, neglecting to mention her dog's strange behavior. And those phrases scribbled onto the walls, they were old languages like Latin, Greek, Hebrew, and many others, all of them demanding that the words of truth be spoken to the chosen forevermore. Alice tried to rationalize it. A dog couldn't do all that, especially not her dog. Yet there were no suspects or signs of forced entry. She'd lie awake at night looking at her bedroom door and spend her days staring at Fifi, dreading that he might shed his skin and a monster crawl out while she looked away. Alice considered returning Fifi, or doing something far worse when the anxiety began overwhelming her. But any time she pondered this, she'd notice Fifi's eyes lingering upon her, as if he knew exactly what she was thinking. Since that day, Alice always made it a point to ask Fifi,
Who's a good boy? You are. You're a good boy.
every single day. It became a ritual, or perhaps a form of worship in a way, to chase away evil, or to blind herself to a terrifying reality that she was unable to bear. Sometimes, when walking by our basement where Fifi's bed was stored, she'd hear her daily prayer repeated over and over again, and it sounded just like her. Upon going downstairs, though, she heard nothing, and Fifi looked at her blankly, as if something had been interrupted. No further incidents took place for several months. During that time, her fear began to weaken, as if it were simply a bad dream. Yet, in forgetting fear, we can become careless and, ultimately, receive an unwelcome visit from fate. After working multiple days of overtime, Alice came home, let Fifi outside, and went to bed without saying her prayer. Alice slept peacefully in her bed when she suddenly felt something on her chest. She opened her eyes and was greeted by Fifi staring at her, his eyes mere inches from her face, the abyss falling into her. Before Alice could even scream, she heard, "Who's a good boy?" Alice's employers and neighbors grew concerned after not seeing her for weeks. The police were called. Upon arrival, they heard something coming from the bedroom. Inside, they found the corpse of a woman cradling a still-living dog, her face frozen in agony. They heard a woman's voice saying the same words over and over again, as if they were echoing from within the abyss itself. The small dog jumped up in excitement, eagerly awaiting their next well-chosen words.
Greetings, noobs and gamers, and welcome to another edition of Grave Tales. Sometimes, raising a child can be difficult, and sometimes you tell them little white lies to get them to obey. In tonight's story, we see what happens when one of those little white lies becomes a dark tale. We now exhume the tale of the Crust Man. The popping of a toaster, a normal, everyday sound that many hear. It's the sound of a morning kitchen, maybe the start of a busy day, or perhaps a relaxing brunch with friends and family. To me, it's a dreadful sound, a horrid sound, a sound I will never be free of. Let me take you back to my childhood, to one of my earliest memories, in fact. It's a fall morning and it's the year before I start school, so I'm still at home with my mom. I'm sitting at the kitchen table munching on toast and jam while my mother does the dishes. I'm done, I say in the confidence that only little kids can project. I start to push myself away from the table. "No, you're not," my mother says. "You haven't even finished your toast." I furrow my brow and look at the plate. I've clearly eaten the good part of the toast. All that was left was the nasty, crusty bits. "I don't like the crust," I said defiantly. "It's yucky." Yucky being the ultimate declaration of distaste my 4-year-old mind could muster. "If you don't eat the crust, then the crust man will get you," my mother declared, intent on the kitchen sink. "The crust man?" I asked. "Yes, if you don't finish your toast, the crust man will come and take you away." I looked at her wide-eyed. Even at my young age, I had been warned of strangers, evil people that would try to steal children away from loving families. "I'm serious," she said. I sighed and chewed on the crust, my tiny mind reeling with this information. If Santa was real, then surely the crust man must be as well. I spent the rest of the day playing, but after I went to bed, my mind began to wander. Who was the crust man? What would he look like? Was he made of toast? For some reason, I kept picturing a looming figure wearing a trench coat and a hat, reaching out with stiff, breaded, crusty fingers. And how did he know if you finished your toast or not?
Again, my mind went to Santa, whom my parents told me they had a direct line with. It had to be the same thing. I froze as the phone rang. Could it be? Could it be the crust man checking in on me? I got out of bed and snuck towards my bedroom door and quietly opened it. My bedroom was at the top of a stairwell that connected to the kitchen, so I could hear a lot. Yeah, he's in bed. He tried not eating all his breakfast, so I made up something about a crust man. Made up? My mother had lied. Surely parents wouldn't lie. I crept back into bed, my mind alternating between the image I conjured of the crust man and the conversation I just overheard. What was real anymore? Finally, I fell asleep. The toaster popped, and I gave the 2 slices of bread that came out a hard look. Something wrong, honey? My mother asked. You've been quiet all morning. I'm okay, I lied, as I slowly chewed on my toast. A plan began to form. I waited for my mother to turn her back, and I pocketed the crust. I'm finished, I said. Can I go outside? My mother looked over to my plate and nodded. All right, just stay in the yard so I can see you. I pushed myself away from the table and put on my coat and sneakers. I headed out to our yard. Our house was backed by woods, so disposing of the incriminating crust was easy enough. I chucked the crust into the woods and looked around nervously. I felt off. I knew I had done something wrong, but my mom was lying about this. Surely it was okay for me to lie as well. A foreboding fell over me as I carried on the day. It felt like something was looming. The day carried on, and I waited for something to happen, but it never did. Finally, it was time for bed, and I crawled in. I was satisfied that I would never have to eat crust again. I could just repeat the actions of the day. My blood went cold. I scrambled out of bed so I could listen in on my mother's conversation. Why wasn't my mother answering? I crept downstairs, expecting at any moment to be caught by my mom. But it didn't happen. Where was she? I got to the kitchen and I looked at the phone as it rang. I really wasn't supposed to answer it at my age. It felt like the ringing became more intense. I stepped towards the phone. Hello?
Hello, naughty one. Naughty boy has not finished his crust. Time for the crust man to visit.
My tiny mind reeled.
I'm coming, naughty boy.
I dropped the phone and ran back to my room. Mom? Mommy? I cried out as I closed the door to my room, wrapping myself in the covers. Nobody came, just silence. I waited. It was starting to get hot under the sheets. The door to my room opened. I heard footsteps approaching my bed. Mom? The footsteps stopped. I trembled. It became unbearably hot under the covers. I had to get out. I had to look. A dark, looming figure stood over me.
Naughty boy didn't eat his crust. Time to come with the crust man.
It reached out, sleeves pulling back to reveal fingers made of gnarly burnt crusts. Closer and closer they came. I did the only thing that I could think of doing. I bit.
No!
It shrieked, pulling back. The hand was now missing 2 digits. I chewed. It was dry. It was unpleasant. It was cold, but I chewed and I swallowed. As I did, the crust man began to crumble, falling to crumbs before my very eyes. Then, he was gone. Honey, are you all right? Did you have a bad dream? My mom's voice came from the hallway. I sat in bed, trembling. Oh, honey, it's all right. It's just a nightmare. I nodded, unsure what to say. But honey, why is there a pile of crumbs next to your bed?
A child's imagination can be one of the strongest forces in the world. Could it be so strong as to bring into existence those who dwell in the dark recesses of our mind? Until next time, noobs and gamers. And remember, always eat your crust.
Observing how made of corium and living cadaver, foundations built on stringy sinew and flimsy 𝒉𝒐𝒻, flesh that beats and drums with glared iron, yet holds no life. This visage of you, here you are. Isolation ravaged down your swollen throat. A fat and foul sitting with your savory suet thickened on your engorged yellowed liver. Locked and framed between complexes, idling on flattened, muddied carpets and smoke-tinged walls as you wait for your slaughter. I sit at your side, for you are consoled by my presence and comforted by the soft belt that shrouds my form, laying my head on your lap as you bend your palm against me. I am all you would ever need, you tell yourself, the only one who can bring solace. As 𝒉𝒔 is called up before harvest, I shall sing to you in your moments before the inevitable. I can feel it. That ravenous, insatiable hunger which you possess, clawing despairingly at another yet again, as you scour for that long-gone embrace you would once known. Teeming at bleached bones, as you dispel more of those humans, one after the other, with your gruesome desperation. Oh, and how desperate you are, so obscenely perverted. Your craving for warmth that had abandoned you decades before, like a sick fetish in your caving mind. What had gone wrong? You horrible little thing. You know exactly what, and you despise it. So you don't answer that echo, that annoying, wretched voice. Your welling eyes as I've cultivated this crop by my very hands. Soft and bitter, mealy and succulent, festering under the rind, glazed in sebum and discharge, bared with moistened skin and salted pupils. Say grace as I partake in my glutton.
Listen, I don't know how much longer I have, but if you're hearing this, just know it started with the map. It looked like our neighborhood, but wrong. Too wrong. And him. I should have never trusted him. Right, okay. It was just another Friday. At least, that's what I told myself as I pulled into the driveway. By then, I grabbed a few snacks and enough energy drinks to keep me going all night. Same routine. Same as always. Like any other Friday, I had plans to play Gary's Mod, a game I had recently been gifted by my friend Mark. Mark had been moving away soon, so we tried to squeeze as much time together as possible before it was over. We've known each other for at least several years now, which shocked us at first, given how much we've hung out lately. Hey Mark, I'm back from the store now.
God damn, it took you long enough. Anyways, I exported that map I told you about earlier, so we can hop on that right now. Did you absolutely make sure to get the add-ons I sent you this time? Because I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting for you to download this shit again.
Said I made sure to look through the list twice, man. Should all be there now. Double checked as well. How come I couldn't have installed them through the workshop?
Okay, so I got all the add-ons from this, like, forum site. And, you know, supposedly they had, you know, got taken off the workshop for breaking the rules, I guess. So I played with a friend. I haven't talked to him in a while, so should be alright. Take invites.
Supposedly, Mark had been busy working on his biggest project, which was the recreation of our local neighborhood. To me, this sounded like something very far-fetched, but throughout the whole week, he seemed insistent on showing me this, so I believed him. I wasn't aware of how much effort he put into the map until I saw it for myself, though. Jesus, you weren't kidding when you told me you spent days working on this. Is it even safe to host all this online?
Relax. It's not like I'm showing this to, like, some, like, online sex hazard or some sex offender or some shit. Not to mention, you can already do the same thing on Google Maps. They show, like...
Yeah, I get that. It's just a lot of effort. Like, look here. You even got that stupid dog toy throughout the old guy's house. I remember how paranoid you were for him finding out. Wait, you aren't scared of that still happening, right?
It's been years. Even if he found out, I doubt he'd think it's us. Come on, be for real. Besides, it's defined his house at this point. I remember the important things before I move out.
Damn, I keep forgetting about that. Wouldn't blame your family, though. Things here have worsened over time. We can't even go outside anymore without some shady-ass men staring us down the other side of the road. Remember that happening once.
Oh, no, though. The way it kind of prevents this place from being lame to stay at. People ask you stupid questions all the... Like I was saying, people ask you questions all the time. It can get annoying, but you're able to tell them just anything, and they'll totally believe you. Oh, that's your place over there.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
You know, I was expecting it to look a lot worse here given how everything else looks.
It doesn't look that bad. You know, I kept myself from looking around since I wanted to wait for you guys.
Right. Anyways, let's check it out.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Wanna check out the attic? I've always been real pissy about it every time I want to hang out. Like,
Dude,
what's up with that?
stop. I don't really want to talk about it.
Whatever, big baby. Anyways, a couple days ago, I got this realistic NPC pack. Said it adds characters that adapt to your map and everything. So far, it only works for this one.
Not sure what's up with the animal tab, though.
Oh, that's cool. Is that why you've been off all weekend? Hanging out with the Gmod chicks?
Hell yeah. Gmod.
Okay. I was joking.
Well, you're the one that brought it up.
Whatever, I'm just playing around. Spawn them in already.
I'm having trouble carrying all these porn magazines. Limited time Jim Carrey edition.
What?
This wasn't how it looked at all. What is this? Okay, I absolutely swear this was not happening before. Okay, hold on, shut up. Okay, they acted way differently, like not stupid like this. Hold on, oh shit, hold on, I think that's my dad. I'll be back in a second. Just give me a second.
Yeah, sure, whatever you say, man.
Mom, Stanley had a shirt just like.
All of them acted quite similar to each other, repeating the same ridiculous voice lines until I took a glance at the ones Mark had shut down. I could have sworn one of the bodies looked exactly like our neighbor who had moved away long ago. Well, that's what I assumed at least. Anyways. Some would be borderline unrecognizable, almost as if they had been taken from, I don't even know, I think crime scenes. And then the others you could have sworn I met before. I had no doubt about the fact that these are based on real people. It felt obvious to me that Mark was playing a very elaborate prank, but there was one more corpse that broke the last straw for me. It was my dead sister. I remembered standing back and trying to reassess the situation I was in. I was back in my house, on the map. It just wasn't quite the right version of my house. It was wrong. As I was examining the house more, I noticed one thing that set me off even more. The attic door was open. I hadn't opened it in years. For some reason, I felt compelled to enter it, and this wasn't as much as a real attic outside my room. I just needed to. One look wouldn't hurt, right? At least, well, that's what I told myself. It was all still up there. Every toy, every forgotten blanket, every ghost of your life that was taken from us too early. The thought of those things. Everything sweating in the dark. I couldn't breathe. I didn't want to remember any of it. What the fuck? I know you're there, Mark. What is actually wrong with you? Is this some kind of sick joke? Hello? I quickly set my laptop down and rushed to check the attic, half expecting to find it disturbed. To my surprise, however, it wasn't. There was not a single trace there, and I feel it. If anything had been touched, and yet, there was nothing.
I need to tell you something now.
Mark, whatever stupid game you think this is, stop it right now.
No. Listen. It's not mine, I swear. It's not. I found this USB drive. I took it from someone's bag. I thought it would have been something cool, but it's not.
Wait. Hold up. Are you actually pulling this out of your ass right now? Tell me the truth.
I'm telling you, it's not mine.
Okay.
The files, the
Mark,
map, everything.
slow
It's
down.
from that drive. I should have known.
What the hell are you even talking about? Don't pull this internet urban legend BS on me.
It's not mine. The files, the map, everything.
Alright, I get it.
That's besides the point. There's somebody outside my house right now. I'm not playing with you.
Jeez, somehow you sound exactly like you did from that dog toy incident.
Police said they'll be on their way, but God knows how long that will take. And he's...
What? Mark, he's what? He's what?
Tap back on now. He's... No!
Mark? Oh shit. Mark? It's hard recalling what happened from there, but whatever that thing was, it was mirroring our game the whole time. I wasn't sure if he had noticed me, but after that, I had completely just left my computer at that point. It was certainly whatever the hell Mark had taken that caused all this to happen. I can't say where I am now, but just know that to whoever finds this, those NPCs, all of them, they might be real. There's a high possibility they could be real. There's a high possibility they could be real. There's a high possibility they could be real.
You're able to tell them just anything, and they'll totally believe you. Oh, that's your place over there. Oh, dear.
You know, I was expecting it to look a lot worse here given how everything else was.
Oh yeah, you're awesome.
Here's something unusual. So, I woke up a few days ago with a weird application left in the center of my desktop titled Home. Now, I like to think myself as a game developer, although I've never finished any of my, let's call them game projects, for lack of a better word. But anyways, at first I thought I had to create another unfinished game project, and I just didn't remember. I was at the bar the night before, trying to pick up cute guys. I didn't. In fact, the night before was Haze, so I assumed I made the project during that. Anyways, I decided to check out what I made, and after a painfully long load time, the application started. There was no title screen, which was a little ominous, but it's not like I know how to create any title screen. I'm a Godot beginner. The window was labeled Take Me There, a bit weird, but given that the game project started in an empty room with a single flickering light, I assumed that drunk past me decided to make a horror game, and I guess I was trying to do some spooky file stuff, like I'm Scared or Dark Place. But I'm getting bogged down in meaningless details. The game project started in an empty room with a flickering light. Looking around the room, I noticed a door behind me. Opening the door led to a large wooden cabin with a dense forest outside. The cabin was decently textured. I mean, everything was pixelated, and I'm pretty sure the textures were just lifted from some build engine games, but still it looked pretty decent. But this is when things got weird, but also kind of impressive, because I was taking a look around, and I noticed out of the corner of my eye, the door, well, I guess the best way to describe it is that the door was consumed by the wall. Not the regular, the door model got dragged behind the wall, but like the wall expanded and replaced the door. This was when I started to think that I might not have made this and must have just downloaded it from somewhere, as I have no idea how to create anything close to that. But regardless, my curiosity had been piqued, so I decided to screenshot everything I found, even though most of it was just some tables, a few doors, a fireplace, a poorly modeled kitchen, and a bedroom with a bed. The fireplace was the only object of interest, as it was stacked full of wood and what seemed to be kindling, but it was hard to tell. The fireplace wasn't lit, which is good because realistically, with all that firewood sticking out, it would set the entire cabin on fire. And the most important thing in a horror game is, well, immersion. I guess it would also save time by not having to animate a fire animation, or not having to rip and import a pre-existing one. But I digress. I screenshot everything and was about to exit the game project, but then I started to hear something that sounded like, I guess, scratching, and like an idiot, I checked behind me in real life. Although in my defense, my cats tend to scratch my door from time to time. But of course the sound wasn't that, it was coming from the game. So I checked around the cabin, looking for the source of the sound. It seemed to get the loudest near one of the tables. That was when I noticed that under the table was a wooden panel that was slightly off. Like, the wood was a slightly different shade of brown, which was hard to notice. After a while of trying to move the table, I figured out that I had to walk into the table, and after a while it started to move, and once it was moved, I stood on the off-colored panel, which teleported me to a stone basement. The scratching sound was gone, but there seemed to be something moving around in the darkness. It was hard to see, but I swear there was something there. I kept looking around, but the basement seemed to get darker and darker as I walked around, till eventually I couldn't see anything. That's when I heard a voice. It was your typical baby's first spooky voice. It said, I was then teleported to the cabin again, only everything looked more worn out, for lack of a better word, and looking out the window, the dense forest outside was on fire. So I looked around for an exit, but I realized that there never was an exit to the cabin, and eventually, after wandering around for a bit, I entered the bedroom. That's when I saw them. Someone huddled on the corner of the bed, muttering to themselves. Their body was covered in what I would describe as burns, like the ashy burns that you see on firewood sometimes. Their eyes were sunken into their head, and after seeing this, I tried to leave the room, only for the door to be gone. Then the room started to catch fire, and the person on the bed started screeching. That's when the game crashed. After a bit, I decided to load it back up, which seemed to have skipped the beginning room, starting me off right in the cabin. Although looking out the window, I saw no forest, on fire or otherwise. The bedroom was just straight up not there anymore, and the off-colored wooden panel under the table wasn't there either. I decided to close the game project and go do something else. But every now and then I check on the project to see if anything changes. So far, nothing has, so I guess screenshotting everything was pointless, which is good since all the screenshots got corrupted. I've actually been finding the cabin kind of comforting, although I don't think I'll ever forget what I saw my first time there. Anyways, that's about it. That's my cursed game story or whatever. Happy Halloween.
I've always been here, and I shall remain.
In Shinigami Forest, where rain was pouring, stood a teen exploring at 1 in the morning. 10 went missing before him, that much he knew. It gave him reason to fear, but nothing he couldn't push through. Online tales told of a demon called the Coffin Queen, a vicious monster whom few living eyes had seen. For a while, the teen's searching came up empty. As he planned to leave, he saw something tempting. A trail of footprints beckoned him along like a siren song. The trail started human-looking, before changing to something more wrong. The trail ended in beast-like prints, just before an unassuming church. As curiosity got his better, he opened the door and searched. Inside, he saw things not meant for prying eyes. Precious sigils, scriptures, and human sacrifices. As he turned to leave, he saw eyes in the distance. Something had been watching him. Stalking.
Late was working I the hours, chopping carrots at the diner. Boring duty, there's no finer. Plate of my life down the drain, when accompanying moonlight, sight encroaching through the window, my attention stole and swindled, and that figure stood for me. Shadow slender in its features, subtle form of air mysterious. Were I drunk or just delirious? Crow, I would believe it be. Yet when squinting eyes so curious, clearer stark the revelation, the source of my apprehension, that was one cat watching me. Hanging motionless on wire, lunar silhouette so still, gazing coldly just until, leaving I my job just finished. Still I thought about that creature, slightly vexing me before. Rushing, wanted I no more, knew a trouble in my mind. Ready after I took exit, in despite of me, however, was electric pole no better. Steady loom from the feline, darker fur and secret motives. From that uninvited entity, striding home I waited patiently, break deserving for myself. Peeking through my thin room curtains, I knew how far now I was from my workplace, but alas, skipping beat my heart within, apparition unsuspecting, startling me again, that cat. Up on cable my door at, vision blunt for me produced, but departing, just ignoring, tucking in myself in bed, hoping from weird sights me spared, that and happenstances any. Tried I have deserving sleep, relaxation for my nerves, so that if this mattress serves, bide tomorrow well and catless. Groggy morning bed produced, my unhappy situation, dull routinely desolation, foggy scenery outside, whilst I brought myself to streets, dusty gray old cobblestone, and to peer me all alone, last night's animal was there. Halting me in place that instant, did that beast take rest on copper? Staring me, again improper, prompting my leave for my job, steps I took in hurried, flustered visage, frowning my impatience, the cement resounding cadence, hopes for nonsense less to come. Thus arrival, donning clothing, hands on dough and pigment condiments, process usual, no incidents. Wonders clients would engorge, unexpecting nonetheless, on a glimpse I dared to catch, past and present eerie match, hanging tail, piercing eyes. Beast to witness my existence, a fixation unrelenting, calmly though and one cementing, least my anger with that one, that recurring furry stranger, little slayer of forbearance. In my welling true annoyance, what you want, I asked to it. Creepy wind run down my spine. Were those words I heard to utter? Is my sanity no better? Really then the maddest tools? I just swear I heard so soothingly, from no source but my environment, voice exuding odd contentment. Wry and strong to say, be mine. Yet the cat still lays on wire, callous it to my misfortune, basking evil and alone. Fast to wallow much in sadism, I will not stand this abuse. Close the shutters, put on headphones, better this than undertones. Dry of that thing watching me. Unbeknownst was I, however, of my future near impending. For some demon would be sending worse consignment to my head. In a minute or two later, from that lapse of sound reality, through my phones and through my frailty, keen that voice again, be mine. The unsettling unravel, grim preceded me to strike, an invisible harsh spike, chafe of peace to say, be mine. Daily after that occurrence, focus lost bare my stability, None was doctor, neither therapy, any help to end the bane. Worse, I cannot stop the cat. Now on every route I take, every time I see and shake, gaze unmoving from above, ever picture of that blackness, small, insistent, crafty stalker, always present statue higher, partner of that hellish song. My acquaintances to call me crazy person in derangement, only help to make me confident why I'm suffering this fate. It's that devil brought foul kitty. Somehow casted an enchantment, putrid being has some penchant, bliss tormenting such the innocent. Restless, sleepless lies my bed. There's no answer on the web that seems can dislodge the stab as be mine, be mine, be mine. Hurt my scalp by pulling hairs, tried but none a scream can muffle. This long auditory struggle, short of killing me someday. Till I found today, on forgotten shady forum online filled with every moron. Screw my skeptic friends, I found one clue hidden in a message from a vague and cryptic user, though called animal abuser. Lone salvation mine she was. If you face the soulless cat, meows possessive in your head, nearest school now you must find of some milk to pour a bowl, mix with fresh blood for your soul shortly after midnight hour, when inside or risk the sour, onyx vengeance quickly met. That must be my cure. It must. There's no other possibly. I won't live so horribly. Great this agony and dread mission plain to undertake, carton and a dish in hands. I don't care for fake amends on this plan, but I'll abide. Here I stand front the forsaken building, and now I'm inside. Razor, this shall cut my hide. Clear the red to join the white. Desperation was my usher. To this measure taken dire, and may be mine vagant wire. Vision when I tell you later.
Alright, so that looks like everyone. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty much a fan of Root Canal and Slenderman meets Jeff the Killer. Slenderman meets Jeff the Killer, honestly that one was funny, but I think Root Canal was actually a really good horror because I felt like, yeah, that one I actually had, because I remember laying down in my bed, half asleep but also awake in a way, and then for some reason I was just going off my own world, and then I just imagined myself like losing my teeth, or is there something wrong with it, and just everything was just falling apart. And I was just lying in my bed, like I was completely aware of everything, so I was just staring off in the abyss. Oh, jeez. Hi, everyone. I didn't know I was not invited. I hope I didn't keep you all waiting. Hello, I'm Marcus. I worked on Not Research, Nights into Dreams, Creepypasta. Music by me. I'm Alistair. I worked on Watching You. I also worked on Plant Man MP4. Hey there, I'm Coaster. I worked on the Watching You. I'm tired of programming. Hey, I'm Grizzler. I worked on Do Not Research, a Nights into Dreams Creepypasta. Hello, I'm their Tumblr. Made honey, I'm home. Hello, I'm Munch Junior Games. I did the vast majority of the visuals you're looking at, my work right now. I also did some design work. Hey there, I'm Johnny Galaxy. I worked on Do Not Research, a Nights into Dreams Creepypasta. Yeah, last Keyblader, I did a lot of the UI design and additional programming. Hi, I'm 𝒉𝒆. I did a bunch of art for this game. Can I go upstairs? No, okay. The halls of this place echoed with the many tellings and oblong, mostly disconnected language of Greek corners. They took something sober and cold, a beautiful beast of following too, that significantly forced our bodies, uterus communications, and channeled that endorsement stream into an almost childish expression of authority. I think I find solace in the feelings invoked by 𝑚𝒉𝒆. It's quite beautiful. This mess is home, but there always comes a time when children must leave the nest. I find it rather superfluous when it claimed that we must forego what we have once felt. Meaning isn't lost with the passage of time unless you purposefully allow the paint to chip. Things that truly matter will always have a means by which to carry them towards our shared horizon. The act of living has meaning in the same way painting does. It would be foolish of me to judge your takeaway. In the same time, I can't know how these words have made you feel. You can't truly know my intention. That being said, may many eyes continue to weep out blood, and may thousands of prying eyes continue to stare blankly in fear as the sun rises. A new day means another story to tell. A new day means another child is born. A new day means another lovely cheesy creepypasta is posted online. I didn't have to ask if you wanted to play with me. You already made it to the party at the end of the game. What do you... I just hope to have inched you ever closer to seeing the beauty in the art of sequence. The horrific horror that continues on through the annals of plasma. An unforgivable shared nightmare. Can we wake up now? Yes. It's been nice playing with you. This looks like the end of Pajama Girl Creepypasta Collab, and in my words, was amazing. I'm astonished by how well this was put together. Sure, it may have took it a little bit long to go through it, but if you stuck around, that's amazing. And I would highly recommend you to actually go seek out these creators themselves. This was amazing. I highly recommend you try this game out yourself at least, if that's the most you would probably do. So, the art was honestly one of the best parts about this game. I'm not gonna lie, it was very interesting. I definitely liked the art, and the whole style of it was nice. I did find some of the characters talking to them to be a little bit meaningless. I'm sorry, I don't want to say it like that, but I don't know, I just felt like you did find a little bit of story behind each character, of interactions you went through, but most of it was just kind of pointless and felt a little time consuming. I mean, there were some likable characters, it's just, I don't know, and unless I'm missing something then I should have probably looked into more. I don't know, I felt like there could have been like a secret somewhere, but I just can't scratch the feeling. Oh well, all I know, this looks like the end, and I'd highly recommend you guys to try this game out yourself, but this looks like the end of this. My name's 𝒉𝒂𝒏. I have a few things to say to you. Love yourself and others, and I'll see you later.